Hey everybody, I just wanted to provide you a little guidance as you get going on your research. Now, first of all, I want to remind everybody, and this is so crucial, all of your questions about this assignment that you're writing, this problem solution essay that you're writing, can be found in that week 4 overview. That is where I have the directions, the page numbers, the required resources, the citation format, which is APA, always in this class. All of that information is there. So always you can go back to that week 4 overview in order to remind yourself, what is it we're writing again? Okay, so this week, last week, you looked at a documentary or you read a paper about something within the food justice system, one of the issues or concerns within the food justice movement. And you all sort of pitched to me or proposed to me an idea that you would like to research. Your question was supposed to be oriented towards addressing a problem and a potential solution to that problem, because that's what your essay is going to be about. Remember, you're going to be writing a paper in which you spend about 2 paragraphs or so identifying and explaining a specific problem. For example, some of you are doing, for example, the issue of food insecurity in Maricopa County. That would be an example. You'd have to prove that there is a problem, what that problem looks like, who's affected by it. And the research that you do is going to help you be able to address that for your readers. The second part of the essay, 2 or 3 paragraphs, is a potential solution. Now remember, none of these solutions are absolute. If there was a solution that could take care of it all 100%, then we wouldn't have these problems. And so you are just basically saying, hey, here's one potential solution that can address part of this large issue. And this is why I think it's a great solution to have in place. So that's really what you're trying to research, is one of the solutions that's helping or could potentially help address the problem that you described to us in the first piece of the essay. So hopefully that helps continue to clarify this for you just a little bit. So in this assignment, you are required to have a minimum of 4 outside sources, but you have some very specific kinds of resources that I've asked you to find. And you have 2 assignments this week that are going to help you find 2 of those 4 resources. And the other 2 you'll be able to find on your own once you have this background information for finding credible sources. Of the 4 resources, 1 has to be a peer-reviewed journal article. You're going to be working on those for later this week. We have an assignment specifically to guide you on how to find a peer-reviewed research article in the library database, and we walk you right through that. This particular assignment that you're working on right now is helping you learn how to find a credible web source. Now, that web source could end up it could end up a documentary. Maybe that's what you find on the web. It could end up a well-researched article from a .edu website. It could end up a .gov website where it brings, is an informative report on your issue. The important piece here is that you need to find something substantial, deep, to help you get a good, solid understanding. I want you to try to avoid .com and .orgs if you can, because while, yes, they can be credible and helpful, sometimes they just don't have the depth, or they're so specifically angled, sometimes you get more biased information. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use a .org somewhere in all of this research, but I just want to make sure that you're finding something really substantial to start out with to really help you get a better understanding of your topic. And you certainly can end up with a .org for this one, but again, something that is more than just a tiny little space of information. It would need to be, pretty long to give you some good information. All right, so this one, we have our library faculty member who's going to assist us and provide you feedback on this assignment, on your research. You are researching your topic. Hopefully you will find information that helps you establish the problem, maybe even information that helps you identify a potential solution. You're going to be posting your findings on the discussion board so you guys can all share in the conversation of research, especially because many of you are doing very similar topics. So this is a great way to learn from others some additional information about your topic and maybe even learn about another really great resource. I would like you to please watch this video on understanding credibility in the context of web sources, okay? And be really careful about the types of keywords and phrases you use, and make sure you've read my feedback on your question and whether or not it's been approved, and any additional information I've given you about that approval that will help you move forward. This source here is going to help you identify the criteria for choosing a strong web-based resource. And in the end, again, you're going to be submitting to the discussion board and replying to 2 of your classmates. Your research question, that might come straight out of what you proposed this weekend, but for many of you, most of you, I identified some revising and tweaking that you need to do. So this is an opportunity to strengthen that research question, especially because you will have already read the article when you post this discussion board, and that might have really helped you rethink how to ask your question, and the keywords or phrases you might need. And for you to discuss that change. Like, now that you've read this piece of research, how has that kind of changed your understanding of the topic? How has it helped you kind of refine your question from last week, now that you know more information? Then I'm looking for you to provide the APA citation for your web article. Then to look a little bit into the author. If you land on some kind of video, then it would be like the director, the basis of the information, and again, this walks you right through it. This video prepares you to answer these questions, so please remember that. Take notes while you watch that video. Asks you information about the overall content, and I'm asking you to loop back to that week 4 reading or documentary that you watched. And I want you to start synthesizing and seeing how these pieces of information come together and start to provide a bigger picture of the food issue that you're addressing. Okay, and then again, looking for you to reply to 2 of your classmates, and I give you some guidance on how to reply to them. And so your grade for this particular assignment is not based just on the research that you found and in finding something useful and deep and credible, but also in the thoroughness and thoughtfulness of your replies to your classmates. So notice that this discussion board is worth a lot more points than normal, and that's because I feel that this particular assignment has is something that requires a lot of depth and time and thinking on it. So that's why it's worth so much more. All right, I hope this helps guide you a little bit. Please reach out with questions. Reach out to the librarian. You can find their information in our concourse syllabus. If you're struggling. Also, the library homepage has a Ask the Librarian thing, which you can ask questions and get guidance from a real librarian, not AI, a real librarian 24/7. So please use these resources at your disposal so that you can, find yourself some meaningful, useful research in this process. All right, great. You guys have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing what you find.